All right, guys, I want to jump on here a little bit and talk about this guy right here. This KFARR, this Matthew Oliver Reardon right there. Y'all see Mr. Oliver Reardon there right there. Now, Matthew there, when he first came to town, to Galveston, about 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I don't know, been a pretty good while. It was Austin Lewis, a.k.a. Good Citizen News, Robert Harvey, a.k.a. Harvey Freebird, James Kane, a.k.a. News Now Ninja, and who was the other one? It was Austin. Oh, yeah, Bruce Redmond, a.k.a. Galveston Island Transparency. They're the ones responsible for bringing Matthew Oliver Reardon here. Now, I believe Harvey had a lot to do with it because Harvey's conscience bothered him a lot, and he put a lot of money on Matthew's account. But now Matthew was on probation in Lafayette County, Louisiana, or Lafayette County, Mississippi. He called himself Lafayette County Audits or something like that, okay? But he was on probation in Mississippi where it had actually been banned from Mississippi. Now, on his way to Galveston, somehow Mississippi called the Galveston Police Department, told him Matthew was crossing the causeway. And as soon as he crossed the causeway, he was, in fact, pulled over and stopped instantly. And I believe Harvey was helping set him up. All I know is Harvey, Good Citizen News, and James Kane, News Now Ninja, they made a lot of money off that arrest, man, off him getting arrested. They did that online bumming bullshit, getting that money, man. They make big money from all these idiots to give them money when they get arrested. But I digress. Matthew was arrested and charged with a DWI because he was out there and he was real fucking confused. He didn't know where he was. Like I told him the other day, y'all come here, don't know your ass from the hole in the ground. You come here, think you know something. You don't know nothing. You don't know nobody. Okay, so Matthew was all confused, and he had Harvey yelling at him, telling you want your lawyer and all this other, telling him you refuse, blah, blah, blah. And Matthew, not knowing what he's doing, talking about, I'll blow. And they told him, man, in order for you to blow, we have to arrest you. You got to do the field sobriety test. Well, Matthew refused the field sobriety test, so they took him for a blood test. They arrested him, took him for a blood test. Now, the blood test was returned, was all zeros across the board. The man had nothing in his system at all, according to the first original blood test. But they took it and sent it back and had it retested more extensively. And it still came back with zero alcohol, zero everything, with just a trace of methamphetamine in his system. Now, a trace of methamphetamine in the system that was not prosecutable. That's what they said. The trace was not, it was so small that it couldn't be prosecuted. This is because things like Sudafed, over-the-counter Sudafed, Dristan, a lot of cold medicines you take might show up as a trace of meth in your system on a blood test. It might. Okay, so that's why it wasn't prosecutable. But nonetheless, Matthew went to jail. They had the results back saying that he was zero across the board. He was not intoxicated. But they extradited him to Mississippi anyway. Under a warrant, Mississippi put a probation violation on him, and they extradited him to Mississippi anyway. Okay? Where, via Zoom call, Officer Osteen, the arresting officer here in Galveston, testified against Matthew Oliver Reardon and told the court that the blood test revealed that Matthew Oliver Reardon did have alcohol in his system. Or he might have, he told him he didn't get the blood test back, or he told him Matthew was in fact inebriated, told him they could smell it in the car, he had alcohol in his system. All I know is they had the blood test back long before this testimony was ever given. Okay? So Matthew was sentenced to prison. He was sent to prison and he did several months. I think he was in the prison for a year or so through the appeal process, and on the appeal process the conviction was vacated and he was released. But he had already lost his car and everything he had. So his mama bought him another car. So Matthew got another car. Now Matthew's doing his grifting thing. He's bumming. He's doing whatever, and whatever he does, tweaking, going from town to town, town to town. And he came here. Okay, when he came here, I knew he was homeless. He came to my house talking about he didn't have no gas, blah, blah, blah. So, well, I'm not going to give you no money for gas, but I took him in my car, and I took him and I showed him all the homeless camps. I showed him this is where the homeless stay, this is where to go to eat in the daytime, this church right here, you can go here, take showers. I showed him everywhere where the homeless go, because even though he's got a car, he's technically homeless. Also, I told him, now, if it's meth you like, you get in with them homeless people with a car like you got, yeah, you're sure to get high every day. Now, does Matthew display the symptoms of somebody that's on meth? He does. But have I ever actually seen him do it, or do I know for sure he does? I do not. But based on what he was then and based on what he is today, I would say give him time, and he's going to end up just like what Gilbert was, man, because it goes in stages. And I've seen these stages, and whenever he first got here, it wasn't that good. Now, he tells me he makes $50 to $100 in an hour's time panhandling at the Walmart parking lot or at the Kroger parking lot, standing on the sidewalk on the driveway, never actually entering their property. Okay, so he tells me he makes between $50 to $100 an hour doing this, but he comes here, he wanting drink, coffee, something to eat. This particular day, that's what I'm telling y'all, this day, at 1:45 in the morning, I got a phone call, and I seen it was Matthew. I woke up, I seen it was Matthew, so I called him back, and he said he was like pretty much right outside my house. Well, why are you in my neighborhood this time in the morning? Because this is where all the dope is. It's in this neighborhood. Usually when people hang out in this neighborhood through the middle of the night, it's a problem. That means they're looking for that dope. But now I know he's outside, and I have a lot to lose. I can be robbed, stealed, but I ain't never seen him steal nothing. Again, he bums, he panhandles, he gets money, but the time is coming where he ain't going to get enough money to take care of what he likes to do, okay? Because I'm pretty sure of it. But nonetheless, he tells me he's right outside, which he was. He told me where he was. He was actually 2 blocks down, and I was, okay, come on, man. I got up, stayed up, gave him a soda, sat there and talked with him for several hours, for I think about 3 hours, because it was actually about 4:30 in the morning. My wife got up getting Joey up. Joey got to go to work. He gets up at 4:30. I was like, man, dude, you got to leave, man. I want you, because already they're going to be going off you in my fucking house, man. They don't like him, but, I would rather him be in my house with me keeping an eye on him, rather than him be outside doing whatever the fuck he's going to do, okay, without me actually knowing. Okay, my wife said, but we got cameras, but you know what? If something happens out there, it's very, very hard. You'll have to sit there and watch these cameras like as if you're fucking watching them 24/7, like you're living that moment, and it can take several hours. It's not an easy job. The way that I do find things normally, if something's broken or something's missing out of place, I can look at that particular object and fast forward, and I can say, okay, well, there, it's broken there, so I can backtrack, okay, well, there it's not, and I can pretty much find the area what I need to be if something's out of place or broken. But if somebody sabotages the vehicle, or if it's something that I can't see on my camera, then it's very, very hard to find it. I will have to sit there and watch it like if I'm living in the moment, and I just can't do that. So I would rather have the security of having my eyes on him, sitting there counseling him, talking with him. And I talked to him about the meth too. I asked him straight up, are you on meth? And he, no, I'm not. But you understand, he told me that he's no, and I'm looking at him and I'm seeing the symptoms, and I've been told this no before in the exact same manner, with the exact same demeanor, from people I know 100% for sure was on it. And again, it's only a matter of time before he hits that psychosis level that is, he don't understand what it is he's doing. I know for sure. Okay, throughout his life, he's been exposed to it just a little bit. Now, he's in Galveston. Galveston is a total different fucking place, man. It's here bad. It's so bad to where sometimes you go to the store. I've seen a male black in Walmart approach an individual and try to sell them drugs right there in Walmart. A tourist, okay? A drug dealer approaching one of the tourists. Okay, let me just pause that. Okay, but at any rate, after he sat there and made his little business deal with the tourists in the middle of Walmart, gave him his phone number and stuff, and told him, you know, the duration of your trip, while you're here, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you call me when you need anything. Okay? You can be standing outside. People going to walk by and ask you, hey, you need some meth? You looking for some ice? You mess with that ice? You need anything? Okay? You can be at the little store. It happens all the time. Okay? And when you're in this neighborhood, yeah. That's what I said. They keep it all a block away from me. He ain't ever brought it to me. He's said no, and he's talking to the people on the street. Now, it's been good 4 years since all that took place, you know, and now Harvey Freebird, and you all heard the fucking saying, you might have to fucking kill one to warn 1,000, okay, or kill one, warn 100. You know what? I never had to kill nobody, but I had to go hands-on with people in this here neighborhood right here and let them know. Okay, I've had to stand my ground against gangbangers where there was 1,000 of them out here and me little leave by myself. Okay, now Harvey Freebird comes along and got the one across the street, man. What an idiot. What an idiot. I got a bunch of them looking at me real stupid right now. But I digress. I'm talking about Matthew right there. Matthew, he's here talking with me at my house, and he's telling me that he got a federal agent. You know, the feds are tracking him, blah, 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 blah. There's a federal agent following me. He said, look at this video right here, and he shows me the video. I almost busted out laughing. Because the video was of Rourke. Sergeant Rourke. Rourke is one of the supervisor of what we refer to here locally as the Jump Out Boys. The Jump Out Boys, I told him, man, they're going to see you scoring dope one day. Them motherfuckers, you ain't even going to know they're there. They're just going to swarm up on you, jump out, and grab you. You're going to get that felony possession charge, okay? But they do that to try to help the individual, trying to get them off. In their mind, they're trying to get them off, you know. I try talking to them, telling them what I know, and giving them actual factual evidence or factual things that I know to be fact, okay? You fucking with that shit, sooner or later you get things that is real bad, man. It makes you go stupid. It makes you start imagining things. There's a hallucination. It's not a hallucinogenic, but it causes you to start hallucinating after you do so much of it, man. You're gonna start talking about, oh, they're over there watching me. Look, they're right there. Don't you see them? Then a couple months later after that, it takes several months, okay? I watched it where it was like him. And then it took probably about 8-10 months, a year. Then they was like, oh, they're watching me. Don't you see them over there? They're in the bushes. They're hiding right there. They're watching me. And then give them a few more months of that. And then they're thinking that they're finding gold and stuff on the street. Or they're just sitting there staring, bent over, looking at something. Because they're thinking they're seeing something worth a lot of money on the street. Yeah. At any rate, guys, I just want to touch base on Matthew Oliver Reardon right there. He actually comes by my house. I've never seen him steal nothing. No, he doesn't really want to work, but he doesn't steal. I mean, what he does is work to him. That journalism crap that he's wanting to do, to him, that is work. And really, the panhandling he does, you know, I tell him, man, you make so much money, why don't you, do that shit full time? He does it like an hour or two a day, every day, just to get the money he needs to get by through that day. $50, $60. That's what he does. So, other than that, man, the dude's not a bad dude, man. I mean, he's very intelligent. He should be sitting in an office somewhere designing computer software shit for people or something like that. But because he has the felony on him, and the felony he has on him is because he was filming the mayor, and he pled guilty to a stalking charge for something he should not have pled guilty to. Once he did that, that was all over but the crime, okay? Now, with that, guys, he was in the U.S. Marine Corps. He allegedly seen a suicide where a guy stuck the M16 and did a 3-round burst to his own head. Which caused him PTSD, which caused him alcoholism. But the Marines deemed it as a training exercise accident, so Matthew couldn't claim PTSD and collect benefits from the Marine, and claimed that's why he was alcoholic, because they deemed it as a training exercise accident rather than as a suicide, okay? And that led to his alcoholism, which eventually led to him being discharged from the Marine for other than honorable conditions. See, what Matthew don't understand is he should not be going around claiming he's a Marine no more. He was discharged for other than honorable conditions. Once you're discharged for other than honorable conditions, they don't classify you as a Marine. It's totally different, okay? It's totally different. It is what it is, and those are facts. You know, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie on the man. You know, I've never seen him high, actually with meth, getting high on it, but he acts like he has the symptoms of somebody that is getting high on the meth. But other than that, don't want to work. He don't want to get his hands dirty. He wants an easy job. He wants an easy job. Don't want to have to sweat. Okay, but the body odor he had, man, goddamn, man, it was bad. Okay, guys, I just wanted to touch on Matthew a little bit. It's been 17 minutes, so I'm going to get off of here, man. He probably going to be pissed off from talking about him. Yeah, I don't know. With that, guys, I'm out.